The problem now with the possibility of us going to war with Iran is that we don't even know what the objective is. We hear from some Republicans and people like Donald Trump is they have nuclear capabilities, which, by the way, we've been hearing for decades from Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel's claiming they have these nuclear capabilities. Yet, people in Donald Trump's own administration, like Tulsi Gabbard, who testified under oath in March, said that wasn't the case. And then you have GOP senators like Tom Tillis, who was asked about the possibility of going to war in Iran. And it's interesting because Tillis didn't mention weapons of mass destruction. He didn't mention weaponry. Here's what Tillis had to say.
Time for regime change. And I believe that this president should be given a fair amount of leeway to affect that.
Did you hear anything from the senator about weaponry? No. He said it's about regime change. So which one is it? You have a part of the Republican MAGA base that say it's about regime change. You have another part of the Republican base that say, oh, this is about weapons, their weaponry, their nuclear capabilities. You have Tulsi Gabbard, who testified under oath 2 months ago that they had no intelligence that they were working on nuclear weapons, or that they were improving on that. She testified under oath in saying that. And I find it interesting that Gabbard has not been put in front of the media the last few weeks, and she wasn't even invited to some of these meetings. Somebody who's in Donald Trump's administration. So which one is it? Well, I'm going to tell you what I think is going on right now. I believe that Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu is giving Donald Trump faulty intelligence, or maybe exaggerating their intelligence, to get Donald Trump to get involved in this war. Why do I say that? This is something that Benjamin Netanyahu has been saying for years. This is something that the Israeli government has been saying for decades about Iran's nuclear capabilities. I'm not defending Iran. Listen, they harbor terrorists. I understand that. But going to war with them is a completely different level. This is Israel's war. This is not our war. And I believe Israel is conflating their intelligence to use Donald Trump as a pawn to get him involved in this war. That's exactly what I think is going on here. And if, in fact, the U.S. does decide to get involved and Donald Trump pulls the trigger, for lack of a better term, then we are all in a worse situation than we were before. And the chances of another U.S. attack on our soil are far greater if Donald Trump decides to get involved here, which I believe he might just do. Israel has, in my opinion, inflated or conflated, whatever word you want to use, their intelligence, which I don't think has changed. And I don't think in the last 2 months, all of a sudden things have changed either. Tulsi Gabbard was telling the truth. It wasn't her opinion. It was based on our own intelligence. And Donald Trump seems to just wipe that off to the side and believe anything and everything that Benjamin Netanyahu tells him. That's why he's so dangerous. One of many reasons. Now, another reason why Donald Trump is so dangerous, because he's so ignorant. He's talking about these undetectable planes, something that he said a few years ago he was gravely against. And he's trying to explain to us information about stealth technology, something that we've known, at least most of us, for 40 years. And now he's trying to explain to us what it is. Have a listen to this.
Yeah, we have the best military equipment in the world. You see that with this fight. We have planes that are undetectable, flying around like, nobody's able to see them stealth. You guys want to be stealthy tonight. You can be stealth, you'll never lose, right? But these are incredible planes and weapons. We have the best weapons in the world.
Yeah, thanks for that info, Donnie. Time to go to bed now. Have your milk and cookies. We've known about stealth planes for over 40 years. We don't need your explanation. By the way, it was just a few years ago that you were against these stealth planes. We have you on record on audio saying that, but now all of a sudden you're totally okay with it, and you have to give like some sort of history lesson on stealth planes as if most people don't know what you're talking about. I think the person that doesn't know what they're talking about is you.